All right. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Ashley Baptiste with Conferences Connect, eager to connect with you and tell you all about our upcoming conference, the Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy. We're pretty excited about this event, and I'm thanking you very much for joining us, for giving an hour of your time today to learn a little bit more about the conference. And we're also going to walk through a little bit of our 2021 virtual conferences so that you have a sense of what's coming up on the calendar. But we're really thrilled that you're here. And just for folks who are on right now, we are recording this. So if you have questions or need to go back and review something, or if you have colleagues who are interested to learn more about this, they can come back, register for this free session, and then watch it right from their computer screen. So just want to make sure you guys know about that. So welcome to the Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy. It is, to tell you a little bit about who we are Conferences Connect. Our mantra, or whatever you want to call it, is learn, share, and grow. I started this conference business about 15 years ago. I've been in the business of producing conferences specifically for the energy industry for over 20 years. And I saw the opportunity when utility folks get together and talk and share and say, gosh, we're working on this, or wow, those regulatory issues we're facing are so difficult right now. It's such a challenge. We have big technology issues that we're facing, and it's really difficult for us to get our hands around it. By bringing people together at our conferences, we help drop the barriers and then folks are really able to discuss and connect and share and learn and grow. So that is why we have Conferences Connect, and I have loved every minute of it since. Utilityevents.com are our events specifically for the energy, gas, and water industries. So again, just want to welcome you to the event today. Who we are, as I mentioned before, I'm Ashley Baptiste. I'm the CEO of Conferences Connect. I want to introduce Laura Bodker. She's a conference producer for utilityevents.com, and our CEO and master marketing man, Gus Calabrese of utilityevents.com. And we have a couple of other team members on here too, but I just wanted to make sure that you know these are some key players to make sure that we are running this company strong. So our agenda for today's session, I'm going to start off with our 2021 virtual event calendar. So I'll give you a sense of some of the events that we're planning for the first half of next year. And then we'll really dive into the Advance Conference, the Virtual Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy. We'll give you an idea of some of the highlights of past events. You're going to meet some speakers. We'll take a quick tour of the agenda. We'll discuss pricing of the sessions, and then, of course, plenty of opportunities to register. We'll start off, as I said, with our 2021 virtual events. We've got our Change Management for Utilities Conference. This is an event that we've been running since September of 2015. About twice a year, and it's a terrific opportunity for anybody who's in the business of change management, in the business of just introducing a major technology to the utility space, bringing in a major change in leadership, any kind of large process change. The Change Management for Utilities Conference becomes very helpful because it's really about organizational change management, project change management. So we'll be running that virtually. And what we've done is we've taken our 2-day in-person conferences and we've divided them up into 4 separate sessions. And the reason why we do this is twofold. First, the thought of sitting behind a laptop and listening to speaker after speaker kind of sounds like torture to us. So we can't imagine what it would be like for you. So we break it up into digestible chunks, and you get a chance to hear different case study presentations from different companies, different utilities. You also get a chance to do a little bit more digesting in between these sessions so that you can think about what you've learned. You can talk about it and discuss with your team, and then when you come back the next week, you're fresh for the next set of content and also ready to interact a little bit more. So we just think that this is a slightly more civilized way to have a virtual event. The Process Excellence for Utilities Conference is going to be on Tuesdays, March 30th, April 6th, April 13th, and April 20th. These are two conferences we usually run back-to-back in person, so we're kind of doing that virtually. The Change Management for Utilities event is on Tuesdays, March 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd, and all of these run from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have the Social Media for Utilities Conference. This is an event we've been running since 2009. It's really about how utilities are using social media as a way to send messages from a broadcast standpoint, and of course, lately, much more of a customer channel as well. How do you get your customer service representatives ready to handle incoming inquiries and incoming service opportunities via social media channels? This has been a challenge for a lot of utilities, especially recently. So we have a great group of utilities who will talk about what they've done, what's worked, what hasn't worked. All of these conferences are case study approaches. It's all about hearing from other utilities who have done the same thing or have tried different ideas and how it's worked out for them. So that will be on Wednesdays, March 17th, 24th, 31st, and April 7th. So the reason why I mention this is because, and the reason why we're running this particular information session today is because we have an end of year team ticket extravaganza. Every year around this time, we put a pretty crazy, attractive and very inexpensive ticket deal together for either in-person conferences or virtual conferences. Obviously, due to the current situation, the virtual conferences are easiest for us to put together. But just to give you a sense of the savings, the normal virtual conference pricing for an individual ticket is $497. We are making a team of 10 available for $24.97, a team of 20 available for $39.97, and a team of 50 available for $49.97. So if you have budget left over from this year that you would like to use, this is a perfect opportunity to lock in some really excellent training and development for your teammates for next year at our virtual events. So we sure hope that we can all be back in person toward the end of next year. But until that happens, we'll be heartily running our virtual events, and we'd love to see you. So any opportunity that you have, obviously, to register for the Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy, we would love to see you. The best URL to use is that utilityevents.com/advance. Past attendees rave about this conference. We've been running the Women in Energy Conference, or it's actually been the Women in Utilities Conference up until now, since October of 2017, and it's been in person up until July of this year. But what's been terrific about each time we've run this event is that women get so much out of it, and men. A lot of men have sent their teams to this event, both virtually and in person. And the women who attend and participate gain so much in just a short amount of time. So we're here to deliver that to you virtually in 2021. So this person said, this conference helped me open my eyes and take in various ways of considering and applying new ideas in terms of empowerment for women in the workplace. The questions asked and interaction amongst the participants made for an enriching experience. And that's one of our folks from Southern Company Gas. And actually, I'm going to give you a little bit of highlights from some of our past events at this conference. This was Tram. She is the Director of Gas Accounting at Southern Company Gas. She attended this conference for the first time along with some teammates in April of 2018. She came back later that year in San Diego in October 2018, also to attend. And then her boss reached out to me and said, I think Tram should speak. And I said, okay, great. Yeah, we love to have a presentation from her. And she shared with us her journey. She talked about how she came to the United States with probably less than $500 in her pocket and basically moved here with no expectations, right? She was just going to figure it out. She didn't know the language. She just dove in, and every opportunity that she has had to grow, she has. Sometimes she needs to be nudged, and that's why her boss nudged her to speak. But boy, did she bring down the house at this particular event. She shared with us what it was like for her to come to the United States and the challenges that she faced and the challenges that she has overcome. Since her presentation, or actually right before her presentation, between two of our conferences, she started an affinity employee resource group at her company for Asian Americans so that they could get together and learn from each other and have that as an affinity group. And what an amazing leadership story for her. And we're so lucky that she shared it with us at this conference. So again, it's really a developmental experience where you can learn and share stories of your personal journeys, free of judgment, lacking pretense, full of brilliant, diverse women. So we're excited that we've had the just terrific feedback that we've had from this event. One of the things I like to mention is that as much as we talk about our professions and how important it is to show up and be professional at work, this conference also gets very personal. Regina Mayer, she's the global energy lead from KPMG. She spoke at our first conference in October of 2017. And very quickly, she was one of the first speakers on the agenda, and she talked about a very personal experience that really shaped something that she was trying to make happen at the company that she was working for. And that just kind of leveled the whole field for the whole conversation. We all got to talk about some of the things that are as challenging that we may find in the workplace, also challenging in our personal lives, and trying to keep our professional lives moving forward when we're dealing with some personal turmoil. Becky Palmer, she's the president of the West Texas division at Atmos Energy, spoke at our April 2018 conference. And she shared with us when she had the opportunity to advance her career, and actually it was her boss's idea. She shared with us a funny moment where she was practically trying to talk him out of it. She said, well, I think my husband and I are planning to have kids. And he's like, her boss was like, yep, that's okay. We have, we know that you're going to be a terrific person at this next job. So even if you have kids, or even if you have whatever other personal things were coming up, she was laughing because she was sort of talking him out of it as he was bringing up the idea. But luckily for Atmos Energy, she moved forward with it. Jennifer Montague is now the Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Officer of NiSource. At the time, she was at ComEd, and she shared with us in October of 2017 another very personal story about how she had a young infant at the time that she was working in London. And one of the managers there, in fact, I think he was the big boss, was making some comments that I think most of us would find inappropriate and totally personal today. And she talked about how she dealt with that. But it was another very interesting personal moment in the room. Janet Loduca, who is the former Senior Vice President and General Counsel of Pacific Gas and Electric, talked with us about kind of coming from the, hey, if not you, then who? If you're not going for the next position, if you're not trying to reach out of yourself to grow to the next role, well, who else is going to do it? So, and her message was really get to know your company, get to know the direction that your company is going in, and see where your experience and your leadership and your expertise can actually help the company go where it's trying to go. That's what this is all about, right? And then we had Bentina Chisolm Terry, who talked with us. This was in May of 2019. She's the Senior Vice President of the Northwest region of Georgia Power. And she shared with us just very candidly about a vice president position that she was offered relatively early in her career, and how when she really thought about like the position, where it would go, what she would learn, where it would take her, she decided to turn it down because she felt that it was going to be kind of a dead end. So it was really interesting to hear women who have been confronted with or given opportunities for different directions in their career. And Bentina showed us a little bit about how important it was to really think it through and be intentional about her next career move. So she ended up actually not taking that position. And she has shared with us a couple of times that it worked out way better for her and for her company. So if you are interested, to go ahead and lock in your registration now for the Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy. We absolutely recommend you do that. It is happening January 19th, 26th, and February 2nd and 9th of 2021. And again, that's 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time at your laptop. Convenient. So we had actually she was an attendee and then became a speaker. Something very inspiring about being in a room with strong, talented women. We all brought out the best in each other, and conversations were empowering. And we had the pleasure of having Natalie, who wrote this, join us to speak at one of our events not too long ago, actually, one of our virtual conferences. So again, I just want to go over the dates for the Virtual Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy. And it's happening Tuesday, January 19th, Tuesday, January 26th, Tuesday, February 2nd, and Tuesday, February 9th. Each session, while we're in there, here's how we pretty much break it down. So we have introductions and assignment review, and I'll talk a little bit more about the assignments in a second. But we have presentations from 3 rock star women in the energy industry. There's Q&A for each of the sessions, as well as discussion. And it's as interactive as our participants want it to be. We highly recommend that if you are in there and giving it the time, that you give it your all. Then toward the end of each session, we have a skill building assignment. And this is something that folks can do in between each session. So we've broken it down, and it's usually like a 5 to 10 minute exercise. It's nothing massive. You can obviously take it as far as you want, but it's what we have seen over the years as some important foundational things to have set up so that you can really prepare yourself for that next role, for that advancement of your career. And that goes with your sort of your profile, your resume, making sure you have a place where you're documenting all of your experiences, that you're building your power base, you're building your base of connections. And that you're really focusing on how to ask for that next role, or how to ask for what's important to you. And we ask all of our speakers to share one thing, just at least one thing that made a significant impact in their career. And through that, we get a lot of different and interesting replies. So I'm going to run through quickly our speakers and what they're going to talk about. So session 1, January 19th, we're going to hear from Ann Hoskins. She's the Chief Policy Officer at Sunrun, and she's going to talk about growing through change. I think after this year, we could all do a presentation on that. Hers, of course, will speak more to her whole career. Jana Mosley is the Senior Vice President of Power Delivery at NMAX, and she'll be talking about learning through your journey. And then Carla Mashinsky, who is the Chief Financial Officer and Administrative Officer at Cameron LNG, is going to talk about what she really sees as being the attributes to her success in her career. Session 2, January 26th, we have Indy Butani D'Souza. She's the Vice President of Regulatory Affairs at Electra Utilities. And she's going to talk about the importance of diversity, not just within the organization, but also as you're seeking new roles in the organization or in other organizations, You need a diverse group of mentors. You need a diverse group of people from whom you ask for advice. And that the more you do that, the more you're serving yourself and your career. Jessica Matlock is the chief executive officer of La Plata Electric Association. And she's going to talk about really how if you need experience to get that next job, or if you just need to know what you need to get that next job, don't worry about making sure you can check off all the boxes for what that job is asking for. Just go for it. Interview for it. They'll tell you what you need more of, and that's an excellent way to really throw yourself into the game. Very energetic. Session 3 on February 2nd. We have Julia Ham. She's the president and CEO of the Smart Electric Power Alliance, also known as SEPA, and she'll be talking about embracing change and uncertainty. Dawn Roth Lindell, she's the CEO and general manager of Burbank Water and Power, will be talking about the difference in male and female brains and how understanding those differences and understanding how we process and how we communicate differently can actually use that information to help advance your career. I think it's a great session. So we're also going to be hearing from Leslie Gallinger, the president and CEO of Alexicon Energy, as well as Teresa Wilson, vice president of regional operations at Calpine. So we've got a nice swath of ladies in the energy industry who are leading and paving the way. And then those skill sessions that we talked about a little bit earlier, I will be the sort of the MC for that. I'll be doling those out so that you can work on some of these things. Debbie, I see that you're in the session. If you're able to make your camera and microphone live, we'd love to hear from you. So the benefits of the conference, not only are you attending the 4 sessions that have these fantastic rockstar speakers, we also have a private Facebook group that's available for you for networking, assignments, sharing ideas, bonus content. Hey, I just read a book. Here's a link to it. Hey, I just took this assessment. Here's a link to it. Articles that are important and pertinent to the conversation. That's where that happens, and we're excited about that. We record each session for your review. So we have some folks who say, oh, well, I can only make it to 2 of the sessions, or, oh, I have a meeting that always happens on Tuesdays. We are recording every single session, and you are always able to go back and review that. This really is an opportunity for you to have a new peer group for support and benchmarking. There's nothing more valuable than being able to find out what other people have done, what have they tried, what has worked for them. And so this is an opportunity to gain just a whole new group of folks and have this shared experience with them. And then, as I mentioned before, we have those skill building assignments each week. And that's to basically give you something to do in between each session and think a little bit more intentionally about what you're looking to make happen. So thank you, Debbie. I saw your note about your camera is being challenged or challenging with the Wi-Fi in your home. No worries. I'm just glad you're here. And happy to answer any questions along the way. Debbie, if you have a question, or Shilpa, if you have a question, if anyone has a question, you can throw it right in the chat, or you can call me afterwards or send me an email. I'm here for you, and that's why we're doing this. So the pricing for the conference, the Virtual Power Conference to Advance Women in Utilities for an individual to attend all 4 sessions is $497. As you said, we do have individual session pricing, but we don't recommend that just because it's better as a package. It's better to experience the whole conference. Even if you need to go back and watch the recordings. And then we have a team of 6 and a team of 10. But the reason why I'm not going to spend too much time on that, and is because we are really focusing on the end of year tickets that we have available right now. So this is happening between now and the end of this year. As I mentioned before, our individual ticket price is $497 for all 4 sessions of the conference. But right now, we have this crazy deal going on. So if you get a team of 10, for 290. I mean, they're basically 24. It's 24.97 for a team of 10. It's 39.97 for a team of 20, and it's 49.97 for a team of 50. And then here's the cool part. You can have, if you've got 50 folks who are interested to attend the Women in Energy Conference, by all means, we're thrilled to accommodate that. But as I mentioned earlier in the deck, and I'll just jump back there real quick, this applies for all of our 2021 virtual conferences. So that's the Power Conference to Advance Women in Energy, the Change Management for Utilities Conference, the Social Media for Utilities Conference, as well as the Process Excellence for Utilities. So,
you can mix and match.
Sorry?
You can mix and match.
I was just about, my colleague said you can mix and match, and I was just about to mention that. So if you wanted to send 3 people to one conference, 10 people to another, and 7 people to another event, there's your team of 20. So it's whatever works for you in that way. So really just, an opportunity to think about, like, what are your goals? What would you like to see happen? Everybody's so happy to see 2020 just finish up and roll out. But what do you want to see happen for yourself in 2021? What would you like to see happen in your career? Many of the women who attended our last conference on this topic, which was in November, work-life balance was one of the number one issues that came up as something that they were struggling with. And because we were able to pull that information together, we were able to ask our speakers specifically about what they do to help manage their work-life balance. So think about what it is that you'd like to have happen. Are you looking to take another step or a new role in your career? Are you looking to get to advance? Are you looking to increase your salary? Are you looking to increase your responsibilities? Are you looking for more of a leadership role in your company? Is it time to take that cool team that you have and just take it to the next level? These are the things that we ask about at this point in the presentation, just because this is such a cool opportunity to have this training and development at your fingertips, right? We're all in our yoga pants at home, and we're trying to make the best of, being super mom and taking care of most of the household duties, making sure the kids are, following along with their virtual instruction, making sure the garbage goes out, and keeping safe and masking up and distancing. We have a lot on our plate right now, but the cool thing is there's a really amazing opportunity to just learn what you need to know to show up and to move your career to the next level. So we hope that you'll do that with us. I always say, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Let's talk about getting a team from your utilities and your energy companies set up for this conference for 2021. It's something I've never heard anybody say they wish they hadn't gone. So if that's helpful, then I hope that it is. So I'm going to quit yammering so much and offer up the opportunity for either Shilpa or Debbie or whoever else on here would like to just, if you have a question that you want to ask in the chat, or if you'd prefer to contact me later, I'm here. I'm available for you to answer any questions that you have about this. We don't have to go a full hour either. And then, of course, as soon as we wrap up, the recording will be on the website. So anybody who registers, as I mentioned before at the beginning, and Debbie, I think you may have missed this, anyone who registers for the free information session can go back and watch this presentation again. So this will be available to them whether it's live or not. And I'm always here and always available to answer any questions that you have. So thanks for your time. I hope that this was helpful and informative for you. We sure hope that you'll follow us on social media. I love LinkedIn. It's like my favorite. But as I mentioned, of course, we have Facebook, Instagram, and we're also on Twitter. But really a terrific opportunity to take advantage of these virtual team tickets or the team tickets for the virtual conferences. And we sure hope we get to see you then. So, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And if there's, as I said, anything that we can do to make this an enriching and valuable experience for you, please let us know. Take care. Have a great day.